Hello all 12th Man viewers and welcome back to the 12th Man Tactical Hub. In the previous episode we discussed if the Bruno effect was real, and today we will have another topic for you. So in today's tactical discussion it will be centered around three key transfer targets for main Premier League sides, which are Manchester United, Chelsea and Liverpool. Each club will be looking to add to their squad as a new season commences, and some high profile names have been thrown around, such as Jadon, Sancho, Kai Havertz, and Thiago. The goal of this discussion will be to identify how these players will fit into the club's tactics and what their strengths are. There is not a place for talking about fees or the probability of a transfer happening. What we want to do in 12th Man is focus on the tactics so that you can see and listen to what we say and then make your own opinions about how they will fit into the respective clubs. So with that, let's kick off. So very recently there has been a lot of speculation regarding the transfer of Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. Now this has really developed over the last few months, and the Old Trafford club have really been flirting with Sancho along with a lot of their stars, Marcus Rashford, saying how great it would be for him to come to the club. Now before we dive into how Jadon Sancho affects Manchester United and would completely change the club similarly to Bruno's addition to the squad back in January, what we need to do is analyze Jadon Sancho's previous calendar year experience in the Bundesliga while playing for Borussia Dortmund. Now, the England international had an absolutely incredible year playing for the Black and Yellow in Germany, where he scored 17 goals and had 16 assists in the league. These numbers are absolutely fantastic. For a player of 20 years old to be able to do what Jadon Sancho does and to score goals, make assists at such a young age is just an absolute world-class talent that has the capability of turning into the world's next superstar, similarly to the kind of production that Kylian Mbappe of PSG produces. Now, where Jadon Sancho really differs is obviously he can create chances, but it's about the amount of time that Jadon Sancho gets on the ball in very dangerous pockets of spaces, which really makes him different than just another winger. Jadon Sancho is a playmaker. He wants to get on the ball. In the past calendar year in the Bundesliga, Jadon Sancho led the league with 56.72 passes per 90 minutes, and that is in respect to all of the other wingers and midfielders playing in this position similar to Jadon Sancho. So the second closest competitor to Jadon Sancho is Thomas Müller with 48.71 passes per 90 minutes. Now that is almost 10 extra passes that Jadon Sancho is making in a match than the second closest competitor to him. So what that tells us is he's constantly getting on the ball and he's making and creating chances for his side. Not only did he have 16 assists for Borussia Dortmund, but he also had 9 second assists, which was also a league-leading statistic. Sancho has league-leading statistics all over his resume, and that is because of his ability to create chances while on the ball. Like I said, he made 9 second assists, and the second assist is the pass leading up to the actual pass counting for the assist. Now, what this really tells us is that not only does Sancho make a lot of chances and cross the ball in to get a player on the end of any of his passes to score a goal, he's also extremely involved in the build-up play, which is incredibly important while analyzing. So if there's 3 main things that Jadon Sancho does extremely well that would be attractive to any side wanting to sign him, not just Manchester United, the main things he does is he drives into the box, he takes on players, and he creates chances, and that all is shown throughout the statistics and of course his goal and assist tally in the last year. So now that we've covered Jadon Sancho and his prolific ability and some of the statistics that really make him great, let's talk about two main reasons why he is a good fit for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United's tactics. Now there's two key things that make Jadon Sancho very, very attractive to sign for the club. The fact that he's dynamic and the fact that he is a playmaker. Now, as I covered in the last video, we all know that Manchester United have a terrific playmaker in Bruno Fernandes, and the attacking output of the three strikers in Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial, and Marcus Rashford has been absolutely fantastic this season. While this is all great, what we need to focus on here is that we had four terrific players that Manchester United had in the attacking positions, but after that the squad depth lacked. Now, by signing a player like Jadon Sancho, what you're getting is someone who isn't just another winger. He's world-class talent. And the reason, going back to the first point, is his dynamic ability. Jadon Sancho can play on the right side, the left side, or through the middle of the three attacking positions that Manchester United could potentially deploy him in. Now, this is so important for Manchester United because, as we saw in the last video, Bruno is so important because of his progressive passes, his ability to create chances. But what these statistics and the way Jadon Sancho produced last season shows that he is also capable of producing Bruno level output in terms of attacking capabilities and output of chances created. So let's say that Bruno Fernandes goes down and gets injured. Jadon Sancho could potentially fill that hole in the center attacking mid position. If Mason Greenwood goes down injured, of course, Sancho would be playing on the right-hand side. Or if Rashford went down, there is so many different possibilities that can happen. And by having a world-class talent like Jadon Sancho in the squad, it's just going to create more depth. Now, the second point that I wanted to discuss was the ability for Sancho to fit into the style of play. Now, Manchester United like to play with four main attacking players. You have Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, and then of course in that spot which Sancho would go into is the right wing. As we discussed in the last video, Manchester United's tactics is to get the wing backs wide, pushed up the pitch, so that the outside wingers, Rashford and let's say Jadon Sancho, can be pushed in. And what this is going to be doing is creating almost a diamond. And that diamond is going to have Bruno Fernandes and then Jadon Sancho, Martial, and Rashford all making these very quick interchanges in the box. Now this is very, very important because this is where Jadon Sancho excels the most. Every single one of Jadon Sancho's goals in the past calendar year occurred inside the box. He did not score from outside the box. Now, some would say that that's a negative thing, but this is perfect for Manchester United. This is exactly what they want to do. They want to get their players in and around the box, quick interplay. They don't need Jadon Sancho to be crossing the ball in from wide areas to Anthony Martial. We know that that's not the strengths and the tactics that Ole has and what he wants to play. So these are the two main reasons why Jadon Sancho would be a perfect fit at Manchester United. Of course, everyone knows he's talented, but it makes complete tactical sense for Manchester United as well. The next player that we'll be discussing in this tactical analysis and tactical hub is Kai Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz has been heavily linked to a move to Chelsea, who have already seen an extreme amount of players coming in, such as Timo Werner and Ziyech, as attacking options, as well as a recent addition of Christian Pulisic. And so Chelsea are really trying to build their squad, and of course Kai Havertz, being 21, very promising young German player who can play in multiple positions as an attacking midfielder, on the right side of midfield, or even perhaps, as Bayer Leverkusen have been doing somewhat recently, is deploying him in the striker false nine position. So this is an interesting one to analyze from the tactical side of view, because as we start to see Frank Lampard build out his squad and really have a chance during his first transfer window to make additions, we are seeing a lot of attacking players. Now, many people who are analyzing Chelsea could argue that it's not the attack that needs to be fixed. It's the defensive holes, you could say, that are kind of popping up, especially with the aging. Marcos Alonso and Cesar Azpilicueta and Kepa in goal, who has really not performed to the standard of the world's most expensive keeper would be expected to do. So what Frank Lampard's doing is getting a lot of attacking talent in the squad without any defensive reinforcements, and here we are discussing Kai Havertz to Chelsea, again another attacking player to join the ranks. Now, as these formations come up on the screen for our tactical analysis of this section, we see that Chelsea like to play a few different types of systems, and Frank Lampard has deployed these formations, which is the 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1, and the 3-4-3 constantly throughout the Premier League and Champions League fixtures. Now, this is interesting because again, Chelsea's attacking talent is absolutely out of this world in terms of emerging young players like Pulisic, or potentially midfielders such as Billy Gilmour, who has been very impressive, or the likes of Ziyech and Timo Werner or Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount. The list goes on of all of these players, and what I'm trying to say is, where does Kai Havertz fit into this puzzle? So looking back at the 4-3-3, which could be considered as a midfielder's role as to have defensive cover, similarly to how Liverpool will attack with 3 forwards, and the 3 midfielders' job is to really not create as much as it is protect the 3 forwards and kind of their decisions that they make. So you have players such as Conte, Mason Mount, Billy Gilmour, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, Barkley, Kovacic. These are all midfielders already playing for Chelsea. Do they really need another player such as Kai Havertz to be creating attacking options? Where would he fit in? Would he be playing on the right side of a 4-3-3? Would he be playing as the number 10 in the 4-2-3-1 formation? That potentially could already be taken from Mason Mount, who had a very, very good opening season under Frank Lampard's watch. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, Kai Havertz is a fantastic player. He's very dynamic. He can take on players. He has very good passing range. He has the ability to score goals. He's scored 12 goals and had 4 assists for Bayer Leverkusen this year. His passing statistics are very good. He makes a lot of progressive passes forward of the pitch, which means that he is good at creating chances. But is this what Chelsea need right now? Should they be making this investment? Yes, there is no doubt that Kai Havertz is a fantastic prospect and has already started to, catch the eyes of the main clubs. But in my opinion, it is not the right time for Chelsea to be purchasing a player like this. As always, let us know, what do you think down in the comment section? Should Chelsea be in for Kai Havertz? Does he fit the system? I'm not so sure, but only time will tell. The final player that we'll be discussing in this tactical analysis is the Bayern Munich midfielder Thiago. Now, Thiago has spent a terrific 7 years at Bayern Munich, and he has now been linked to Premier League champions Liverpool. Now, this move for the 29-year-old would be a very, very, very smart move for Liverpool. And there's many different reasons for this, but what they really, really could use is a 29-year-old who has a ton of experience, incredible world-class ability in terms of dribbling, vision, beating a player, and creating from deep areas on the pitch. Now, just like we did with Sancho, what I want to do is just talk about the Thiago, the player, before talking about how Thiago could fit into the Liverpool system. Now, Thiago, the player, is someone who has just an edge over other midfielders, and you'll know what I mean if you've seen the Spaniard in action. But the way Thiago is able to find pockets of space, and he's constantly looking over his head, he's checking, he's scanning the field, but when he gets the ball, he is always making the right decision, and that is key to any midfield player who likes to get on the ball a lot. Now, Thiago's statistics in the last calendar year have really proved how good he is in the position that he plays. He makes, and these numbers are rounded, but 82 passes per 90 minutes in that deep creative midfield role, and has a passing accuracy of around 91.5%. So that is just staggering, the amount of passes that he completes, and over 90% pass completion just shows how good he is on the ball. He is playing a lot of progressive passes, and in that central defensive role, he is going to be able to move the ball forward. Not only is he an incredible talent when it comes to dribbling and picking out a pass and orchestrating the tempo of the match, Thiago is also incredibly good at defending. Now, he really has a high work rate. Maybe he's not the best at tackling or making interceptions, and that's what a lot of people do think of when it comes to defending, but what you need to also look into is the recovery ability of a player. Now, recovery has to do with a lot of hard work and a lot of positional awareness and energy that comes into play. Now, Thiago, when it comes to recoveries and counter-pressing, ranks within the top 5 in the central defensive position in the Bundesliga. For those of you that don't know what counter-pressing is, a counter-press occurs when you have just lost the ball and the other team is now in the attacking transition and is going to attack. That counter-pressing moment is immediately after you lose the ball. Can you win the ball back? And that's usually going to happen within a span of 1 to 5 seconds. Now, Thiago ranks extremely high in counter-pressing, and that's kind of leads to the next point of that. It would be perfect for Thiago to move to Liverpool. So everyone knows that Jurgen Klopp really demands a lot of energy from his team, specifically in the midfield position. Now, on the tactical board here, we have Liverpool set up in their typical 4-3-3 formation with Mane and Salah and Firmino as the front three that we all know. And the midfield position is actually, it changes a decent amount. And, obviously, Jorginho, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho are generally mainstays in this midfield position, but there are many different options that Jurgen Klopp doesn't shy away from in the midfield. What Jurgen Klopp requires from his midfield is to have a lot of defensive cover to allow his attacking players to do what they need to do and take risks and be comfortable losing the ball in the attacking third while still having a strong defensive cover of the 3 midfielders sitting in front of the defense. This allows the wingbacks, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson, to push high and wide while still, again, creating a defensive cover and just the ability to take risks in the attacking third. That's why we see such a free-flowing attacking football from Liverpool, and also the ability to win the ball back very quickly on the counter press because they have a lot of men forward. Now, what does that mean for a midfielder in today's Liverpool's system and tactics and philosophy? It means that they need to have a lot of energy. They need to be able to provide defensive cover. And what we have seen is that they don't really need to score the goals for Liverpool to win. On the board here is a table of all of Liverpool's midfielders and what their goal tally is this year. And as you can see, it's not impressive. And to be honest, it could be an area for improvement for Liverpool. Everyone says, well, how do you improve this team that got 99 points or around 100 points the last 2 seasons, has won the Champions League, and absolutely just ran away with the league this year? And that's my answer, is in that midfield role in terms of creativity and scoring goals. Now, we've discussed the counter-pressing recovery, the energy of the midfield. That is a key requirement for Jurgen Klopp. And as we've discussed about Thiago, he can fit that position incredibly well. He is energetic, he's a workhorse, he wins the ball back. He might not be the most physically demanding player in that position, but he gets the job done. And to be honest, at a very high level while playing for Bayern Munich. Now, where Thiago can really have a huge impact on Liverpool is his creative ability from deep positions, especially in this three midfielder formation of the 4-3-3. Thiago is going to be making a lot of progressive passes, and he's going to take the ball, he's going to find the pockets of spaces, and he's going to be pushing the ball forward, whether that's a pass or with his mazy dribble runs, which allows the other two midfielders to, maybe play more defensive and allow Thiago to really create. Thiago has an incredible passing range. He's going to be able to be feeding balls forward into Mane, Salah, and Firmino at an incredible rate, and this is really where we're going to see a difference. Now, Thiago's output in terms of goals and assists really weren't that high either, but it's the creativity, it's the dribbling, it's the way he orchestrates a match. Not every player needs to score lots of goals, but I do think he would score quite a few more goals in the Liverpool system rather than Bayern Munich, just because of the kind of attacking football Bayern Munich play. And of course they have their goal scorer Lewandowski, who scores an absolutely incredible amount of goals and really is the main attacking threat in that team. But Thiago is such a creative orchestrator who really knows how to control the tempo of the game. And Liverpool are missing a midfielder who controls the tempo of the game for the Reds. And for that reason, that is why I believe Thiago is just a signing that is a no-brainer for Liverpool. And if the finances can work, they should make that happen, because it's going to give them an edge and a different style to their team and a different option for the Reds and for Liverpool. So that concludes our three players that we discussed during this tactical analysis. We hope you liked it, and as always, as I keep saying on every single video, give us your opinions. What do you think about Sancho, Havertz, or Thiago? Are they good fits? Do you think they'd be better off at a different club? Should they stay at the clubs they're at now? Everyone has their opinion. We love the transfer market. Everyone loves the rumors, who's staying, who's going, what club is going to sign the next superstar. And we're here to discuss the tactics and how those players can affect the clubs that they're going to. So please give us your opinions. If you like this video, of course, we'll be putting out more transfer target tactic stories for you in the next few weeks. Please let us know. And as always, thank you very much for your time.